Do I think the shares have been mispriced? I think it's very difficult to tell. When you price something at the top end of the range at £3.30 and you've got massive institutional and retail demand, you know that shares are always going to open at a premium. Even if it's just people averaging up in terms of the valuation to increase their holding at the middle of those two prices that they've paid, I think it's quite sensible. The thing I'm most excited about is this has certainly ushered in a new sense of excitement about equity ownership. And allocating shares to just under 700,000 individuals in the UK can only be described as a big step in the right direction of increased equity ownership. It does hark back to the 1980s and the early 1990s, the previous eras of privatisation, Thatcher years. And I think that's a very interesting dynamic. We're living in a world where the focus has been on debt for so many years, and this is a new emphasis on the culture of equity and equity ownership. If things are priced sensibly, if companies are sensible and they want to use the capital markets in sensible means, then I think it's a perfect addition to people's portfolios, and equity ownership is very interesting. We've got a very generational situation going on. When I look at my dealing room here, where I must have 150 people, I would imagine that a good 2/3 of those had not seen or were not aware of previous privatisations in the 1980s. So this is a very new thing for them. And the government, they're going to get criticised whatever they do. They can't win. If they sell it too cheap, they've done a bad thing. If they sell it too high, they've done a bad thing because they've disenfranchised the investors or they've disenfranchised the government themselves. My sense is I think this is a cultural shift towards greater emphasis on retail participation in equity offerings, and that's something that I welcome.